Hello YouTube. I've been seeing a lot of gun reviews recently posted, and they've actually been really helpful to me. So I decided to make one of my own. I'm going to review the Smith & Wesson SD9 Sigma series pistol, and I'm going to use a Glock 17 to compare it to. If you want to see a Glock 17 review, I'm sure there's tons of them. People love those things, any Glock really. So I'm not the guy to get it from. But anyway, the instant thing I want to point out that you notice as soon as you look at them is that they're very similar. And I haven't done any research on this, but as far as I know, Glock sued Smith & Wesson over the design of this pistol. And so the first thing I'm going to do for you guys is take them apart and show them side by side so you can really get a feel for how similar they look. So, and a lot of people will say shame on Smith & Wesson, that's a bad thing. And I really tend to disagree because everyone knows the king of the polymer pistol is the Glock. So, what's the phrase? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Alright, depress triggers, double action, pull back about 1/4 of an inch, slide it right off like that. Alright, here I have the trigger group. Alright. And just the rest of the lower receiver there. You can see they're identical. It's hysterical. I mean, it's like they didn't even try to make it look different. And then upper receiver here. I mean, spot on. The same. Okay, now a lot of people are going to get on me for this. Because I really like the Sigma. And I'm sitting here comparing it to a Glock. So I just want to put this out there. The Glock is a higher tier of firearm altogether. I mean, like I said, the instant reflection of that is the price. 270 used, 560 used. I mean, you're in a different ballpark. And usually when you buy a pistol and spend less than $300, you are buying a piece of garbage. But yeah, I disagree when it comes to the Sigma. Okay, so they're both chambered for 9mm, and the Glock has got this kind of abrasive polymer that's chunky and good balance with the upper receiver and fits well in your hand. You know, I've got big hands, but the polymer on the Smith & Wesson is, I don't know, it feels like cheap rubbery plastic, and it doesn't have any tough spots to grip your hand, which is fine. 9mm don't have much recoil. And I also will point out that the beaver tail is what they call it, I think, is a lot bigger on the, there we go, on the Smith & Wesson. And like I said, I do have big hands, and I can really get behind, you know, the bore axis with. So anyway, they feel kind of the same, honestly, in the hand. Like other than, like I said, the chunkiness of the Glock. But as soon as you look down the sights, you're going to notice two huge things. The front end of the Glock is easier to hold up, just because, like I said, the weight of the polymer balances the gun out far better than this. And the sights on this are crap. And that's okay, because I'll explain later, this pistol has a completely different niche than the Glock. Now it's one thing to buy a pistol to go out and, you know, have protection, maybe get your concealed carry or whatever, or just home protection, or just, you know, to have it there to save your life. Now to that, you're going to want to make a real investment. You know, you're not going to get the cheapest thing out there. Get something in the same tier as the Glock. I mean, Smith & Wesson makes pistols like that. The Sigma is not one of them. I think they call them MMPs. MMP 9, MMP 40, whatever. But yeah, just in the comparison of these two, go Glock. Because, like I said, different class of firearm. The Sigma has a role, though, especially if you're a newbie. You don't own a pistol, you want to get into it, you don't want to spend much money. Maybe you just want to practice with 9mm. but you're really shooting 40 Smith & Wesson or something that is more expensive, but you still need to practice on a gun that has more recoil than like a 22 or something, but the ammo is also cheap. Smith & Wesson Sigma is the only pistol that I've ever really shot under $300 that'll come through in that roll. Is just like I've shot 2,500 rounds through it and not had a single problem. Like I said, I got it used. This is an older model, so I can't speak for the newer ones. They actually have rails on them. I think they're called. No, this is a 9V, and the other ones are 9VEs. Sorry. But yeah, one thing I would like to complain about as well is the standard mag for these guns holds 10 rounds, and the high cap mag holds 16, which is one less than the standard magazine for the Glock. I think the extended ones hold 30. Anyway, polymer magazine versus stainless steel, so you're going to have, I don't know, some risk of tarnish. I don't really know what's better as far as stainless steel or polymer magazines. I think most people would probably prefer the polymer. You actually have to give this kind of a whack to get it in there, but one thing I do like about it is it slams home and chambers around when you smack it in there. The Glock will do it sometimes, but you don't want to be slamming your magazine into the gun really hard. So the trigger on this Smith & Wesson is garbage as well. It's got like 3 springs holding it back. The reset is incredibly long, so it's one thing that's hard for people who don't understand how to shoot pistols well, that are new to it, is figuring out how to work the reset. But the plus to them is the trigger is heavy. So, and honestly, I think that's the best way for a new shooter to learn, is on a heavy trigger, because then they can respect pulling the trigger slowly, is to not throw their aim off. Because, I mean, that's the main reason anyone ever is off target, is as they're pulling the trigger, they pull the sights to one way or the other. It's not too hard to line them up initially. So yeah, like I said, completely different rules. This is more tactical here, Glock 17, fantastic gun for what it is. And Smith & Wesson Sigma 9B, fantastic firearm for what it is. It's nothing more than a plinker. I wouldn't, trust it with my life or anything, but it definitely hasn't had any issues for me. I think that'll do it. Until next time.